Hey, Brendan here. I was going to give a quick run through of Paths of Power, the subclass add-on in Project Cerberus. The concept here is to have 14 subclasses, one for each of the base classes in addition to the Scion and the Summoner. I started off on the artwork here that we've currently got on cover. This won't be the final version since this is a current piece in Legends of the Scion. It is one of my favorite pieces though. I mean, just look at the detail in this thing. Like, this thing is incredible. Look at this stuff. The artist Noman did an killer job on this, but it is very similar to what we're going to have with one of the add-ons that was in the previous project, Awakened Mind, which I did do a quick run through already on. There is a full page illustration paired with the subclass. So in this case, we're looking at Druid, Circle of Primordium, and it is extraordinarily time-consuming to make a subclass, at least to do it in a way that it feels balanced and fun and the DM allows at the table. So the process that I run through for each one of these is that I will go ahead and build out a basic concept, and then I will drop that in Discord. Going forward, it's going to be even better than that, where I'll be dropping it here in Creed's Codex. So Circle of Primordium already in there. It's available for free right now if you want to go check it out. The way that this is structured is you're taking on the primordial elements here. So air, earth, fire, and water, and depending on which one you grab, you get different benefits, etc. That was the main concept. Build that out. Drop it for feedback. So you can leave feedback directly here in the comments, and I will also be dropping a link in Discord so people can then chime in, give feedback. And then I take all of that feedback to see if it's hitting well, if there's pieces that people don't like, or if things people love. I almost never deliver something that first pass, like everyone's totally cool with all of it or it's clear. That takes quite a bit of iterations, but you can at least get that concept down, because if the concept sucks, it's not worth rebuilding on. It's often better to just scrap that and, based on the feedback, try again. So I'll send out a poll. People vote on which one of the two options they'd like for each of the classes. I will then build out that base concept, send it out to everyone, get feedback. Then it goes over to the technical editor. And the technical editor has this impossible job where they have to straddle the line of they need to be concise and clear and unambiguous and easy to implement, and flavorful and descriptive and still engaging. And so they're going to take the stuff that I send them as kind of this base malleable clay and then make it into that fine sculpture at the end. I will then take that and I will then run it through and balance it. And this is where a lot of that time comes in. So here's an example that I've put for like the Bear Totem Barbarian. We're building them out as a tank from level 1 to level 20 and figuring out what their health equivalent is at each level, figuring out what their AC equivalent is, figuring out their chance to hit, their damage, etc., putting in options for feats and ability score increases and everything else that they get, and going through and mapping out that what their power level is, both offensive and defensive, into a final score, and then charting that and then tracking that against all of the other options. I use a Power BI interface to pull all this stuff together. So, if we went with that Bear Totem, we can go ahead and see where they fall. You can see they have a decent spike where they jump up at level 11, which if we go and take a look, the reason that happens is because their Relentless Rage comes online. So based on the calculations, I determined that they gain on average about 44 health based on the percentage of chance of succeeding on each one of those checks to make sure that they don't fall unconscious and the rage continues. And the details mapping all these out is pretty extensive, and that ends up delivering a nice bell curve you can see of where each class, subclass falls at each level. And then when you're building out these ones, you want to make sure, like if I'm building a barbarian, I should not have a tank barbarian that is tankier than the Bear Totem. If I can make mine tankier than this one, I got to dial it back. This should be at the extreme end, in my opinion. And so I want all of mine to feel solid, good, and ideally have a solid concept of what you are trying to play and really be able to build out that character. And so when we're building this out, I essentially run through that whole process, and then we have that illustration piece that comes back in. So if we jump back over, we can jump back into our document here. You can see some of these ones coming through where we then build out that custom illustration for exactly what that is, with multiple rounds of feedback and drafts. The easiest way to showcase that is likely actually jumping in Discord. So if I go take a look at the Psychic Tempest here, I've done a search on the side. I'll move my face out of the way. These are the mechanics that are dropped for like how these pieces worked, and you can see this is a rework pass on this, but there's also imagery that came in here. So we've got, this is one of the like later versions, which is what you saw there. That actually doesn't have quite the level of shield breaking that we had, but we can kind of jump up to like one of the previous versions here. You can see we don't have that same level of detail. It's not quite as clear what's going on. It's missing that pauldron, and these pieces just kind of keep going in. I do my best to link to these so you could always keep jumping back and see each version of the artwork as it's coming online. And so the all those pieces added together end up making a kick-ass product, because you've got the backers buy-in from the beginning, getting feedback on what they'd like to see. You then get the feedback on the mechanics to make sure that they're enjoyable and fun and clear. You get that technical editor to clean it up even further and really add that polish. You get the balancing in so that it feels good, it will be allowed at the table, and it's just enjoyable to play. And then you get that pristine artwork that comes into play on top. And so these ones are by far the most work to make. These subclasses take forever. Just that balancing part, depending on how much tweaking is needed, could easily be like 3 to 4 hours. So if you figure we're doing, let's see, what are we doing in this one? 14 of these. So just the balancing aspect of it is going to take over a week. So this product's going to take closer to 1,000 once you add in like the full time for all the art development and everything. So these things are amazing. And I gotta say, the Awakened Mind is probably one of my favorite supplements I've made, just like slightly below the books and on par with the content that's going in there, just because of how detailed these subclasses are. Paths of Power, going to be one of the same kind of things. So look forward to getting feedback on what you all are looking to see there, but that is a good overview of what you can expect when you pick this thing up. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free, drop them in Discord, hit me up, and let me know what you're thinking. And I can't wait to see what you all are going to select in the surveys. All right, take care, everyone.